So begins this story, as I feel a tender tug. Plickety-plunk-plunk. Ah, the drop of an acorn nut. He should have fallen long before now, and with the snow it'll be hard to find a place underground. But that's what you get for being afraid of heights. Even birds have to make the same scary first flight. The acorn's name is Jymee. He's inside, asleep, in a sort of dream weave in between being things, even though he's a seed. He temporarily misplaced the fact that he decided to be a tree. With the coming of day, a passing squirrel picked Jymee up and scurried away, down across the brook and over a stone wall, where in a scare, the acorn got dropped into a pillow of snow, only that night to get stepped on, ouch, when a big hoof came along. Jymee wasn't broken, just buried till the thaw. If it weren't for that little bit of help, he could have been a nut for a long, long time. Seedlings don't grow well in the snow. It's too cold. "Brr, I'm cold," was heard in an echo from down below. Jymee will be fine. The inside of his shell is lined. Spring, as usual, came in an unpredictable way. Cold, then warm, snow, then rain. But it got here, and that's okay. The warmth awoke and softened the land as one by one timid green beginnings were coaxed to uncurl and stand. It had been some time since they'd seen the sunshine. It's bright. Or felt the breeze on their leaves. The world beneath is dark and compact. You don't always know where you're growing, but it's better than where you've been at. Spring's thaw softened Jymee's shell as water seeped in and he began to swell. With a stretch and a crack appeared a root, and with another stretch and a crack came to curious attention his shoot. It's all mushy out here," Jymee thought as he began to explore the soft spring slush. "Maybe I'm asleep." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh came from something whooshing down beneath. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. That whooshing wasn't me, Jymee realized as the whooshing took its leave. Underground, it's black. Nothing moves fast. With every stretch, Jymee grew an inch or two, until in one stretch, clunk, ow, he bumped into something that booed. Who's there?" clamored a crusty old voice in the dark. I'm not really sure," Jymee timidly remarked. "Well, you can't just go bumping around. You gave me a scare," the voice fussed and fidgeted. "I've got fruit growing. Now I'm not sure who's hanging where." "Fruit?" Jymee timidly inquired. "Yellow, red-striped fruit. I'm not all roots, you know. I do have another side," the gnarly old root replied. "This is just the part that lives in the dark. I got a tree growing in the light." "A tree?" "A reflection, so to speak. Up there they'd probably call this here root a branch and maybe this knot a leaf, but down here I'm all root, plain and simple. The part that lives underneath. You'll see." "I will?" Jymee questioned, bewildered at the thought. "Well, that's what seedlings do. Only half of you's supposed to be root," Jymee learned as he felt an unexpected tickle to the tip of his tap. "Oh." "Yup, feels like baby oak," said the grandfather root. "Know any of them folk?" "No," Jymee couldn't recall. "Well, you will, when you break through." But then what'll I do?" Jymee asked. "Be a green-growing shoot for a while. That is, unless you get chewed." "Chewed?" Jymee questioned. "There's all kinds of creepy-crawly stuff that'll want to eat you." "Eat me?" Jymee feared. Just keep thinking, tree," the root assured him. "You'll be okay. But you gotta change direction. You're growing the wrong way." "The wrong way?" "You've got to grow up." "Up? Didn't you get any kind of directions with that nut?" The root huffed. "Ugh, no sense making a fuss. But right now you're sitting under old Tinystones, and he doesn't have any holes in his rocks. Tinystones? He's the stone wall in these parts. So you're going to have to curl back the way you came, and then up. You'll start seeing twinkle glows when you near the light. Twinkle glows. All right, Jymee timidly replied, accepting his plight. Just don't turn up too close, the root advised. I've got fruit that roll. Oh. Now get growing before your tap builds up mold. Jymee reluctantly curled back the way he came. It was cold and silent and blacker than black, not a world he felt like reliving again. A nut, Jymee reflected. He called me a nut. Why didn't I get any kind of directions for growing up? With every inch, Jymee grew more and more confused. No direction felt like any direction, but growing was all he could do. Peekaboo, came in a soft, playful echo from somewhere, maybe up. Peekaboo. In a wink, Jymee saw a tiny twinkle, and then it was gone. Maybe that was a twinkle glow, Jymee thought, as he turned and grew in that blacker than black direction for a while. Peekaboo, little nut-nut, came in another twinkle that seemed to flicker and glow, soft, snuggly feelings Jymee had always known. Remember me? The tiny twinkle echoed in a blush. Jymee tried to recall the feeling, but somehow his treasure chest of memories must have been locked. Sensing his puddle of misplaced keepsakes, the twinkle sadly began to fade. Don't go away, Jymee pleaded. I'm sure I'd remember if you could tell me the place. Where'd you come from, the light? It was too late. The twinkle had twinked out of sight. Jymee held on to those warm, snuggly feelings as he grew in that dark, dark place, hoping to see the twinkle glow again, but it never came. His world took on an icy dampness, so cold he could barely move. Wherever I'm growing is bending my shoot. It was too late to change direction. He could only grow one way. So he grew and he grew until gradually his bend turned into straight. In a flush of tipsy lightness, Jymee's very most peak met the edge of dawn. It was so bright and light. He was glad his roots were there to hang on. Dink, dink. Ooh, who are you? Jymee giggled in a tickle as little somethings dinked his shoot. Dink, dink, dink. There were two, then there were three, but with every dink they melted away. Where'd they go? Jymee thought. It was an April snow. Just a brush to let the flowers know what it's like on the other side. It'd be gone by noontide. The ducks wouldn't have to fly. With every inch of lightness, the darkness grew further away. Jymee found himself sprouting in mid-air. This was a very curious place. In a yawn, his shoot uncurled a little green leaf, and soon a few more yawns made it 3, floppy green leaves bouncing in the breeze. Jymee didn't have much of a view. There was a stone wall, home to some ivy and moss, and a salamander or two. It had been made years before from a collection of rocks, placed one upon the other just high enough to inform a passerby of the land's divide between the woods and the lakeside. Around Jymee, too, were other green-growing shoots, mostly taller than he, but Jymee had the sky, the blues and grays, the sun and the clouds passing by, not to mention the birds and the butterflies, and the moon and the stars at night, and lots of croaks and gurgles and honks he couldn't identify. It took till midsummer before Jymee reached Blade Peak height, and that was mostly because the old grass had died. Occasionally a mole or a squirrel would scurry by. And then there was an owl who'd catch mice at night. All Jymee could do was hope the owl wouldn't eat him too. One day, a beaver waddled on through and didn't even say "excuse me" when his tail flattened Jymee's shoot. Jymee recovered after he swallowed his pride. Anyway, the fireflies were nice. Every now and then one would land on a leaf and blink. Not really say anything, but it made Jymee feel like he had a friend. It was so overwhelming living in a jungle of so many things bigger than him. Crickets were another thing. Their chirps might be nice to keep company a balmy night, but when you're tiny-sized and one decides to hang out where you permanently reside, you have no choice but to listen. Icket, icket. The cricket couldn't stop. Ickets were the greater part of his rendition. By the time summer was through, Jymee had grown another inch or two. His leaves were a little chewed. He'd been rained on and sat on. It's not easy being a shoot. Even a spider decided to weave a coverlet over his view. It was airy and see-through till the eve, when it would sink into a soppy wet blanket with the dew. Fall brought changes from greens to browns and reds as the trees began to shed. Jymee noticed some changes too. The few floppy green leaves he'd tried so hard to preserve started to shrivel up and turn brown. What's happening to me, Jymee feared. They just hung down. A soft sunset brought in the twilight as Jymee watched a flock of geese in V formation fly south across the sky, just as he'd watched another flock at noontide. Storm clouds rolled in, and the wind began to stir the leaves. In a whisk, Jymee's 3 were set free. He frantically searched among the tumbling debris, trying to identify his lost little leaves. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? It was hopeless, he could see. Why? Why my leaves? Jymee saddened at the wind, feeling torn and empty inside. Why? Too hurt, he turned his thoughts inward and sunk his heart down to his roots. Those were a part of me. At least it was peaceful down there, no wind to bother him. The gustiness calmed as the night went on, making room for a drizzle to meet the dawn. Jymee's spider coverlet was gone. The misty rain felt good on his tattered shoot. Inklings of sun on the early morning dew coaxed Jymee to turn up from down deep in his roots. He was a little tender to the day, not really sure why he was there in the first place. Timidly he looked around. His world had changed. It was a little lighter and brighter. No more clinging things. In a funny way, it felt good to be free. Even though he'd lost his leaves, so did all the other trees, except for one maybe. It was still green and looked sort of fuzzy from where Jymee was standing. There was some gurgling nearby. No flow, no quo. No flow, no quo. Jymee had heard it before every once in a while. As he stretched for a peek in that direction, over an old piece of curled bark, he saw glistening water trickling over clumps of rock and around mossy bends, carrying twigs and leaves in the same direction as had flown the geese. In the crispness of the autumn morn, a forest butterfly dressed in yellow and gray danced about the water's banks, coming to rest on the stem of an overblown and dangling dandelion. She just sat there, staring into the sky, parting her wings every once in a while. Her mind seemed preoccupied. Jymee overheard her speaking when the breeze blew her voice to him. "Guess there's only me," the butterfly said. "Flowers went away. Leg said frost will come tonight. I can't stay. Leg said, say bye till next time. Why? Why was I a caterpillar so long? Oh dear, so many eggs to leave behind. No time, no time." Jymee readied himself, standing brave and gallant to aid the lady fair. He looked sort of torn and tattered, but I know I'm a little squished, he whispered, and out of shape. I lost my leaves yesterday, but I'm okay, I think. If you want, You can sit on me for company, I mean. Came in a startled reply as the butterfly fluttered and lifted up and off into the breeze. But Jymee tried to apologize. She darted here and there, circling once and once again hesitantly, and then suddenly seemed to vanish in the trees. Did I say something wrong? Jymee thought. In all his confusion, Jymee wanted to go run away and hide too, but he was stuck as a tree. He didn't even have one single solitary leaf to hide beneath. So there he stood, swaying in the breeze. She sat on that old bent-over stem, he thought about the dandelion. Do I look worse than him? That night, while Jymee was sleeping under the moon half full and a sky sprinkled with stars, a wisp of fairy-likeness made a slow and lazy flight about the brookside, dipping down every once in a while as if to kiss each who lived there good night. In time she came to Jymee, touching down. "Bye," the butterfly whispered as she turned to go, but something made her linger in a gentle flutter about his shoot. "You cared about me. Why?" she asked the sleeping seedling. "Why would you care about a butterfly?" The wind carried a chill that said she had to fly, but before she left, she drew close to Jymee and curled forward her tail, touching his shoot and tenderly laying an egg on his side. "Bye." She disappeared into the night, and as the lake said, the dew became the frost. Jymee slept through the change, but our butterfly friend was too fragile. Her name was Twink. Snowflakes fall, and I wonder where you are. Winter's breeze echoes through the trees. It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas. That night, as the snow-dotted lakeside slept in the crisp, clear mountain air, the moon told a story for those who were quiet enough to hear. Once there was a snowflake whose journey it thought was to be one of drifting south, growing fluffy and falling in love with a particular leaf. The dream of someday meeting him as he moseyed on downstream helped to pass the time when she was stuck in drifts of snow or wedged against sleepy branches and other colossal things. Nestled one afternoon at the root of an old oak tree, sadly sat our little snowflake friend, about to burst into a weep. Her journey had been so long it seemed, much too long to ever bring her to the stream, but in a whisper from the root it was heard. "It's not the leaf you seek, it's me, the tree. I'm the love that begot your dream, and you're the love that will bring the spring." It was with that a leaf fell from the tree, the leaf she'd seen so often in her dreams. In a gentle curl to enfold her, Snowflake warmed to a tear. "It's not the end," said the leaf. "It's the blend. That's why we're here."